Hello and welcome to Philosophy Penguin Presents. This week we are going to be talking about distributive justice. Well, it may sound like a complicated word, but it's something that we think about and something that we act regarding every day. Essentially, this is a question of the best or the right way to share things. It's a question of how we distribute or share justly, or the best or right way. This is a really important question in political philosophy, which is where people ask questions about how to organise, order, and rule countries, and a lot more. It might seem like this is a big question, and it is, but it is a question that we all engage with every day. Yeah, I can see that you're a little bit skeptical, so I'm going to show you, okay? I'm going to tell you a story, and I want your help. So, this is a story of 4 friends who decide that it will be really fun to go for a picnic in the park after school. The next day, as soon as the bell rings, they find each other and they make their way to the park together. They find a nice grassy patch under the shade of a tree and they lay down their picnic blanket. Then they place a large chocolate cake right in the middle of their picnic blanket. Now look at that cake. That looks delicious. So, how are they going to share the cake? That's the question that we're going to talk about. One of the friends, we'll call them Big Neil. Here's Big Neil on the screen in front of us. Big Neil says, I should have more cake because I am bigger and I need more food to fill me up. Yeah, that's what Big Neil says. And the question I am asking you is, should Big Neil get more cake? Is it fair? Okay, are you ready? I'm going to give you a few minutes to think about it. I want you to pause the video and think about whether Big Neil should get more cake. I also want you to give a reason why Big Neil should or shouldn't get more cake. Ask yourselves why. Okay, good. I'll see you in a couple of minutes. Okay, welcome back. What did you think? Should Big Neil get more cake? What do you think, Philosophy Penguin? Yes. So Big Neil said he should get more cake because he's bigger and he needs more food to fill him up. Is that fair? Okay, you think it is fair. You think it's fair. Now, why do you think it's fair that Big Neil gets more cake? I see, yes, because if you were to eat as much food as me, it would make you sick. So I should get more food and Big Neil should get more food than you. Right. Is it always the case that Big Neil should get more? Oh, why not? Oh, only if he needs it. That's curious. Only if he needs it. Now I wonder what you all thought. What reasons did you give for whether Big Neil should have more or less or the same as everybody else? I'd love to hear. Well, the story hasn't finished yet. Let's see what happens next. Okay, right. So one of the other friends, takes a larger slice of cake. We'll call them Peter. Now Peter says, "You used my kitchen to make this cake. If it wasn't for my kitchen, there would be no cake for anybody. Therefore, I should have more." Should Peter get more cake? Is that fair? Well, just like before, I'm going to ask you to pause the video, have a think, have a talk with somebody else, and then we'll come back and we'll discuss it together, okay? Don't forget to come up with a reason why you think a certain way as well. Are you ready? Okay. Press pause. Okay, we're back. Now, what are you thinking? Should Peter get more cake? Now, Peter said, "You used my kitchen to make this cake. If it wasn't for my kitchen, there would be no cake for anybody. Therefore, I should have more." What do you think, Philosophy Penguin? Should Peter get more cake? Oh, I see. So you're saying on this occasion, no, you don't think Peter should get more cake. Why do you think that Peter should not get more cake? You know what? I think I agree with you, Philosophy Penguin. I do on this occasion. I agree with you. So you're saying that Peter shouldn't get more than anybody else just because he had the kitchen that they used. And the reason is... Yes, that was it. The reason is he didn't do anything himself. He just had the kitchen. He didn't make the cake. He didn't put anything into the cake. That's what you're saying. Okay. What else might you say? Yeah. Yes, that's true. I think I can imagine somebody having that opinion. They might say that Peter deserves more, just like the reason that Peter gave himself, because without Peter's kitchen, there would have been no cake for anybody. And so maybe his kitchen grants him some right to some extra cake. I could imagine somebody saying that, yes. That's tough. What do you all think? Ooh, I can't lean forward because of the sun. What do you all think? Should Peter get more than everybody else? Less than everybody else? The same as everybody else? That's a toughie. Well, things are going to get even more complicated now. It's time for one of the other friends to speak. Okay, now, it is true that the friends used Peter's kitchen to make the cake, but there is more to the story. In the morning, during breakfast, one of the friends, Julia, suggested that all four friends go to the park and have a picnic, and she suggested that they bake a cake to eat while they're there. Now, everybody agreed that this was a brilliant idea. And so they did. Julia, in Peter's kitchen, took all the ingredients, followed the recipe, mixed them together, and put it into the oven to bake a cake. So, Julia baked the cake. The question is, should Julia get more cake because she baked it? Okay. I'm going to ask you to pause And I'm asking you to think about it, just like before. Okay, are you ready? Pause. Okay, we're back. What did you think? What did you think, Philosophy Penguin? No, I understand. Okay. Yes, it is. It is getting quite confusing. I agree with you. So, let me get this right. So, Philosophy Penguin is saying that you're changing your mind and that you don't think Big Neil should get more cake anymore. Instead, you think Julia should get more cake because Julia baked the cake and she put effort in. She worked on the cake, and so it's her cake. It's Julia's cake, and that's why she should get more. I see. Ah. So you think it's Julia's cake because she baked it? Well, I'm going to suggest that maybe it's not as simple as that. We're going to challenge that in a minute, Philosophy Penguin, but first, I just wanted to hear what you all thought. What reasons did you give for the way that you think? Have you changed your mind at any point? Well, let's see how I'm challenging Philosophy Penguin. Are you ready? Because something else is going to happen now. Here we have Grace. Grace is the fourth friend. Now, it was Grace who went to the shop. It was Grace who bought all of the ingredients and returned to Peter's house where everybody was waiting. It was Grace who gave Julia the ingredients that she needed to bake the cake. So, here we have the fourth friend's contribution, and the question is, the same as before, should Grace get more cake because Grace bought the ingredients? I'm going to give you a chance to think about it. I'm going to ask you to pause the video and have yourself a think, and maybe have yourself a nice talk with the person next to you or with somebody in the house. Think through those ideas. Sometimes it's easier for us to get a handle of our ideas when we talk out loud to somebody else. So, are you ready? Pause. Okay, and we're back. So we've thought about all four friends and what they contributed to the cake, and the reasons why each of them thought that they should get more than everybody else. But we haven't considered them all together. So let's think about that now. So let's see. We've got Big Neil. Big Neil says that Big Neil should get more cake because Big Neil is bigger and he needs more food to fill him up. Peter says that he should get more cake because it was Peter's kitchen that they used to make the cake, and without Peter's kitchen there would be no cake. Julia says that she should get more cake because she baked it. And Grace says that she should get more cake because she bought the ingredients. Now, the question I want to ask all of you, your final question of the day, is how much cake should each of them get? Should they get the same amount? Or should some get more than others? What I think would be a really fun thing to do is if you could draw a cake. Could you do that? Could you draw a cake on a piece of paper Maybe just a nice big circle, and then you can decorate it, colour it in. And then, with adult supervision, I want you to get your pair of scissors and cut the cake up into 4 pieces. And then give each piece, 1 piece each, to each friend. Imagine that you've got them there in front of you. So you can give the biggest piece to Neil, because Big Neil needs big food. Or maybe you think differently. Maybe you think that they should all get the same amount of cake. Or again, maybe you think differently, and you think that Neil and Julia and Grace should have the same amount, but Peter should have less. I don't know. I don't know what you think. What do you think, Philosophy Penguin? I see. So you think that Grace and Julia should get the biggest parts, and then Neil should have less, and Peter should have the least. Is that what you said? And why do you think that? I see, because you think that baking it and buying the ingredients are the most important parts of the process. Well, I'd love to know what you think. I actually think differently to you, Philosophy Penguin. I think everybody should just get the same amount of cake. I think everybody should get the same amount of cake because... why do I think that? I think they should get the same amount of cake because it's nice. It's nice to share evenly. Does that make sense? Is that a good reason? I don't know. Tell me what you think. Maybe your ideas will help me to understand better. So I would love to hear from you. So, I would like you to share your thoughts with Philosophy Penguin Presents. Now, if you would like to, please ask your parent or carer to share your ideas on Twitter, tagging @PhilosophyPeng1 and hashtag Distributive Justice. And then I'll be able to see your brilliant ideas and maybe your photographs of the cake that you've made, decorated and shared out. I would love to see the work that you've done. And as a last word, I would like to recommend 2 picture books that can help us think through these ideas that we've been discussing today. So The Rainbow Fish by Mark Pfister is an excellent book that discusses fairness and sharing. And Please Mr. Panda by Steve Anthony is another really good picture book, really simple picture book that talks about these ideas in a really captivating and funny way. So if you would like to think about them further, I would recommend borrowing these from your local library and having a read of them together and thinking about these ideas. So thank you very much for joining me and Philosophy Penguin again this week. And if you like this, we have a couple of other videos on the YouTube channel that you can watch. And hopefully we'll be making more in the future as well. So thank you for joining us and goodbye. Bye.